Welcome to the Winning in Business podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Rissy, and I love talking to business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs who are winning in business. Are you ready to reach your next level of success? If so, join us on the Winning in Business podcast as I interview entrepreneurs, business professionals, and leaders who share how they've risen to success. Before we begin, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification button so you'll be notified each time a new episode is released. Plug in and settle in. You're about to be inspired to rise up to your next level of success. Welcome back to another episode of Winning in Business. This is your host, Kelly Rissy, and I'm very excited today to be here with our guest, Cami Kynes. I met Cami probably a year ago, and we have just stayed in contact, and I'm super excited for her to share her story today of how she is winning in business. So let me read her bio, and then we'll get down to it. So Cami Kynes is the account executive of Hillsboro Title Company. She's a wife, mother, and new grandmother. Cami is an active supporter in her community. She loves helping nonprofits, so she sits on the Jefferson County Growth Association Board and leads the JCGA Businesswomen Group, the Hillsboro Chamber Board, Desoto Foundation Board, Hillsboro Police Department Board, and chairs many committees in the metropolitan area. Her passion is to help others grow. So Cami, welcome.
Hi.
So glad you're here today.
Thank you.
All right. So go ahead and get into it of how did you get into doing what you're doing with, the Hillsboro Title Company and being the executive account, share that with us. And what has been your journey?
Well, so I started with Hillsboro Title 33 years ago. I was 18 years old and I moved to Missouri from Kentucky. Working a regular job, trying to go to college at the same time. This position came open and I started at ground zero at Hillsboro Title, and 33 years later, I'm still here.
That is amazing. I love that. And you know what I really love, Cami, is that after 33 years, you are still passionate and just light up when you talk about what you do. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that sometimes is rare these days.
I agree. I agree totally.
And when you said you came from Kentucky, now I hear a little of the accent in there.
That little bit of slang comes back. I grew up there, and anytime I talk to my mom or brother there, it pops right back up. So
Yeah. Well, good. Okay. So what are some of the ahas then that you want to share with the listeners just about your success, being with a company for 33 years? I know you talked about, you really working your way up. So what do you have to share today?
So I think one of the biggest wins for me is knowledge and knowing that I started from ground zero, as I said, and then I went into closing and production, and abstracting was the biggest thing for a lot of people. They don't know what that means, but it's running chains of title. And the knowledge part of it, knowing that, and easements and restrictions, makes it easier on the account executive part and the marketing, because I'm not just this normal girl that doesn't know anything. I know the behind the scenes part of it. And so I contribute a lot of that to knowledge, knowing what I'm selling.
Yes. And from the inside out, because you stepped into so many different roles, it allows you to speak on everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. From everything from abstracting to dispersing to closing. Yeah. So, and it's only working those positions that I learned what I can, teach and share with others.
Mm-hmm. And in your current, where in your current position, do you also then, do you do any training for other people that are coming in, or mentoring? Or
I actually do. I'm helping in construction dispersing now, but I also do that in our closing, just helping them, mentoring them, getting them to know our customers, and getting the same value I have with these customers, letting them know that we're here to help them, and just being a happy person, happy closing, and taking care of the process in the back end of closing.
And how do you feel like your knowledge of the company has really helped you with the client base? Because I mean, we as people have changed in, the past however many years. So how is it different for you working with clients 20 years ago as working with them today?
It is a lot different. I think before, years ago, they just took that closing package and was like, okay, this is it, and now these lenders and realtors and homeowners question it. They want to know what the product is. They want to know what restrictions and easements and deeds of trust, they want those. And so I can now, when they have those questions, or teach a lender or a realtor what those mean on the back end of it. But it is so different. Back then, we went through books, and they were big, huge books, flipping pages, going to the courthouse, back and forth. And now we kind of have it all at our fingertips. So it makes life a whole lot easier. But if I hear someone complain about something, it's like, what? Back then, that dreaded story that everybody hated. But yes, things are so much more convenient now compared to how they were then.
Do you feel like, in addition to that, though, that we have added more, is trying to speak your language, regulations, rules, like things around things, more so than there used to be? Like, is it, or is it easy? Or does that make sense? My question.
No, I think it's harder.
Okay.
With the underwriters and things that we have to, in order to provide title insurance, we have a lot more rules and regulations that we didn't have back then. And so you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's a lot more than you had to then.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Everything is online, though, because if not, imagine like those binders would be.
They were huge books, and they were so heavy. So heavy.
Yeah. Okay. What else do you have for us? What other tip would you like to share?
I would like to share the more involvement you can have with your community. I have noticed that being involved with nonprofits, being involved with chambers, being involved with boards of realtors, just being involved in the community has actually prospered my business. Yes. It's not the normal draw for Hillsboro Title. It's realtors, it's lenders, it's homeowners, but I have seen that not only do I feel really good about myself, but being involved, it's opened a whole new door for us and business and stuff. But like I said, the wonderful feeling is we feel good about ourselves, but I'm able to share these nonprofits with the other people that need this, not only for them, but also the nonprofits.
Yeah, I feel like that's a win-win-win really for everybody, right?
It is.
So it's a win for you because as you work and get exposed to more nonprofits, like you said, you're learning about them, you're able to share about them, which is a win for the people that need the nonprofit. It's a win for the nonprofit, and it's a win for Hillsboro Title because that's when you're getting your name out there more and more. And we know as business owners, one of the biggest things that we have to do is truly like saturate the market with our name so that Absolutely. Our name is recognizable. They're like, Hillsboro Title, that is Cami Kimes. Like they know that a name with a face and, and that's what happens when you put yourself in different areas instead of just the typical networking things that Absolutely. You're talking about. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's fabulous. I know, for you, what do you mind sharing like a couple, and maybe they're the ones that you're doing right now, but like what have been your top nonprofits that you have just loved being involved in?
I tell you what, truthfully, the first one that I was ever involved with was right on St. Louis, and it's equine therapy for children and adults on a horse. Now, I did that on Monday mornings for 2 hours. For one, it was the most positive way to start my day for me as a sidewalker. But seeing these children on the horse, One little particular boy that's still in my heart and soul, he started out in a wheelchair. He went to a walker, and he can stand on his own now because of the movement of the horse. It strengthened the muscles. So, seeing the accomplishment over a year, but also too, like, it was a great way for me personally to start my day. That Monday afternoon, after I was done doing that, I mean, there was no, I was unstoppable. I felt good. And I knew that, okay, now it's my turn to get out there and show the world who I am and who we are. So it was a positive way to start my day. But also, too, I was helping the nonprofit, but this beautiful child, just seeing him smile and feel his accomplishments.
Yeah, I think that's great. And there are nonprofits out there that you don't get to meet the recipients.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they might come to the gala or they have a video testimony of them or whatever. But the cool thing about that is you were working with one of the people that were benefiting from the service, and you got to be a part of that. That's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Good. Okay. What else would you like to share?
The other nonprofit that I really love is Night of the Superstars. And it's disabled children that have helped and supported in the community. And we honor them this special night. They get on the stage, they get an award, we douse them up with their dresses and tuxes, and they get limo rides. And I get to help with the makeup and the hair and the nails and all that fun stuff. But they enjoy it, their parents enjoy it, but these kids, despite their disabilities, whether it's spinal dysphasia or missing a limb or autism, anything like that, they shine that night, and we get to display them and say, look at these, no matter what problems they have, they are out there in the community sharing their story, but normally they're not seen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, those are great. Well, thank you for sharing. Okay, what other advice do you have for us?
Believing in yourself. This was one that I can tell you I strongly struggled with, but becoming a single mom after 20 years with two amazing boys and not believing in myself, maybe even being a little more codependent on someone, but building myself and believing in myself over those struggles and challenges has made me be able to be out in the community, share part of my story, but let other people know that you can succeed, and as long as you believe in yourself, if that makes sense. So it's a struggle, but it's a beautiful thing when you believe in yourself.
Yes, 100%. I feel like in my coaching practice, that is something that, and I mean, for myself also, right? It's making sure that I am believing in myself. And I feel like, clients, it's very interesting because we can believe in ourselves at the level that we are. It's when we want to go to the next level,
right?
You know what I mean? And that's when the self-doubt creeps in. And so I feel like there's always that new belief in ourselves anytime we're trying to level up, right? And you had to level up from being, that going from a, spouse, having a spouse, and now being that independent person. That was like a leveling up for you in a new way, like, gosh, here I am living on my own. What does that look like? And I think as business owners and business professionals, that's how we experience is we're like, ooh, I want to go for that new job. And then it's that believing in ourselves that we can do there, we can get there, and having that belief. So, that's fantastic. And then I know you also love helping others. Share more about that also.
Yes. I think with my struggles, I think that helping women is very passionate about, or to me. And so that's why I started working with Jefferson County Growth on the Businesswomen's Group, is because I wish I had a place to go then, as going through and not knowing this single mom, the struggles, and believing in myself. So now helping women and being able to bring them together in one place so that they can feel good about themselves. They can believe in themselves and knowing there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, yes, that's fabulous. So then for you, and I always like to bring this question up because I feel like as women, as business owners, as men in the world, right? Men have, I feel like they just have sometimes different challenges than us, or maybe they explain them differently, but we all have challenges. What challenges do you face currently?
Well, Kelly spoke at this the first time we met, and I remember my CEO tapping me on the shoulder then and go, "Are you listening?" And it's saying no. I constantly want to please others, and I struggle with saying no. And like I said, Kelly taught on this, and I really got in my head a lot with this, and I can say it feels good to say no because I now know that opens the door for someone else to say yes. And it keeps me from stressing trying to account for time and because I've overbooked myself. So it keeps me being a better person.
Yeah.
So that's one challenge. And the
That
other
saying no
is
is big, right? The saying
what?
no is, I mean, it's really like when you say no, you're helping create these boundaries. I
Right,
look at it as the same thing as you put a fence up around your yard, and
right.
inside your little fence, you have how much, like your time, you have your mental stability, your emotional stability. Are you pouring into yourself for some self-care? And if you have all these holes in your fences, and are allowing yourself to do all these other things and not take care of any of those things, then we are really not our best selves. We are doing a whole lot. We're doers and we'll do a whole lot of things and we're helping others. However, we're not always doing them as our best selves.
No, no. And then you find yourself stressed out. And what was the point of saying yes if you're not 100% what you were supposed to do and help? You have to feel good about yourself and be happy,
Mm-hmm.
or you just wasted that yes that you just
Right.
said you would do.
Right. Yes. Okay. What else? You were going to say one more challenge, I think.
My one of my biggest challenges sharing, duties because I'm one person, so it's hard for me to share with other, have others help me because my thing is I feel like it's easier and faster just to do it myself instead of sharing those duties, but at the same time knowing I do need help. So, and I contribute that to being a single mom, but knowing that I can share those duties, again, it opens a door for someone else to shine.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a big challenge for me.
Yes, I feel like that's something that, when we can delegate or when we can ask for help, like you said, it's then allowing someone else to come in and shine in an area that they can, right?
Right.
And from since we're on the Winning in Business podcast, in a way that if business owners want to scale their business, anyone wanting to scale their business, you have to learn how to delegate, because
Absolutely.
what you're doing now will not get you to the scaled place you want to be unless you're able to ask for help, delegate, get things off of your plate so that you can then do the things that need to happen to scale the business.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it is, I mean, that is a struggle for all business owners until they get good at it. That's something that is something that I coach business owners on because it's the struggle. Like that's very common. It's very common. Yeah. Okay. So what are your goals in life and business? What are Cami Kime's dreams here for life and business?
So, as far as life is just spending more time with my brand new granddaughter, because
Yes.
that's
Oh,
been
I'm so glad you
something
brought that up. Yeah. Okay.
that is something that I have been waiting for, my poor kids. But it's she's a blessing. And so one of my biggest goals is spend more time with her, be able to watch her grow. But again, also to like spending time with my family. Our parents are getting older and siblings and stuff. So one of my personal goals is to spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
And
Isn't
of course
that
you have to
interesting?
delegate, those duties.
That's what I was going to say. Isn't it interesting?
Time.
Yes, it's interesting how it comes back full circle that in order to do that, you have to be able to ask for help and delegate and say no. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep. What about for your business, your profession? Like what's that for you?
So time blocking is one of my goals. Is again, it kind of all goes back into doing that. But my goal is to make people know who Hillsboro Title is and what they do in the community. There's tons of title companies, but what we do different than most is we're in the community, we're supporting the nonprofits. Because of jobs coming into us, we're able to share more into the community and nonprofits. So my goal is sharing. Hillsboro Title is not just in Hillsboro. That's where we were born at, I should say, 50 years ago this year, but sharing to others who we are, and we're here to help, making others see we're different than the normal title company.
Yes, that's great. That's great. And because you've been there, as you said earlier, like you've been there and you know so much about it, like you're the perfect spokesperson to go out and truly share and keep sharing and letting everybody know about the title company. And that is like so good to know, because I feel like because it's Hillsboro Title, people can think that, oh, that's in Hillsboro.
They do.
You know what I mean? So that's really important to get that. It's kind of like there are certain, not to be named right now, but banks that might have a county attached with it. And then you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, but that's everywhere.
Right, exactly. And we struggle with that in Chesterfield a lot because Hillsboro Title and we're in Chesterfield. So so my goal is to share. So when they hear our name, they're like, oh, Hillsboro Title. They've been around 50 years. They can get the deal done for us.
Yes. The good news is that some people may not know that Hillsboro is an actual place. So
I know.
They don't even know that it goes with, you know what I mean? Like where that is located.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So what, and I know you are the kind of person that doesn't like to brag about yourself, but what is an accomplishment that you're really proud of that you'd like to share?
And again, you're right. I don't like to brag. I feel like it's a bragging, but truthfully, it's me. I was sitting in my office the other day and I stopped and took a minute and just kind of looked around in my office, and I saw these accomplishments I've made in the community. I've seen awards and plaques and stuff that I was honored to get, that I helped in the community. I made a difference. And it is hard to sit back and go, hey, I did all that. I feel good about myself, so that part of it makes me feel good now. And when I'm gone, because, the people knowing that helping the community is a big deal. So one in particular was I received from the Hillsboro Chamber. Actually, it was called the Frank Rowland Award. He used to be our mayor, but I'm gonna tell you, he probably never said no. I will have to say that, because he supported this community. He helped anybody and everybody, and he was kind of the name in Hillsboro. He was part of how I heard about Hillsboro and moved into Hillsboro. But he has since passed away, and his family gives this award every year, and they're really picky on picking that right person. And I was honored with that award, and that one truly has my heart and soul, more so than the other awards.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
That sounds like a tremendous honor. So that is fabulous. And I think that as women, don't you think we just need to get better at celebrating ourselves?
Yes.
I don't think men have a problem going, oh, I got this award. I worked hard on this. You know what I mean? And it's something that for us, through generations, we have learned, we have inherited that we shouldn't celebrate our success because we should just do it. Right. And at the same time, I think we can celebrate, and it's not bragging. It's number one, I asked you the question. You know what I mean? And number two, you made an impact doing it, right? Like you were out there in the community, being seen, making an impact, which then allowed someone to show their gratefulness to you by honoring that award to you.
Absolutely. And it's brought a new light into Hillsboro Title Company too, not receiving awards in the prior years, now receiving these awards, you know, as Kami Kimes with Hillsboro Title Company.
Hillsboro Title.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Your company sounds amazing. And it sounds like they really are out doing so much for the community, which is, you know, as you said, one of the differences that is your company from other title companies is really being out there as a servant company.
Yes.
For the community. Yes, that's fabulous. So where can our listeners find you? Where can they connect with you? And also Hillsboro Title, give us all the rundown of the social media, the way they can connect.
Okay, so you can find me personally, Kami Kimes, on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. You can find Hillsboro Title on their website, or LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram also. If you go to their website, my contact information is on the website as account executive Kami Kimes, so you can grab my contact there.
Okay, perfect. And if you were to sum up Hillsboro Title in, let's say, a sentence or two, what would you say?
I would say that they're the best around. That's why I've been here for 33 years. There's a reason behind that. So,
And what would they say about you?
That's another one of them hard ones to brag, but I can say the owners that we have now are very grateful for me, and they're very proud of what I've accomplished.
Yes. Good. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being a guest today. I love the ahas that you help and share, be out in nonprofits and learn the product, the company that you are with inside and out so that you can speak on it, you can help anybody that's around you, and then also believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I appreciate your time, Kelly.
Thank you so much. All right. And my listeners out there, if you will be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell so that you will get more of these podcasts once they're released. And I will see you next week with our next guest. Have a great one and rise up and live. Thank you for being a part of the Winning in Business podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to rise up to your next level of success, but are worried about increased stress, time for work and yourself and your family, not to mention being exhausted, I'd like to invite you to a complimentary strategy call where I'll show you how you can do it all. I'll help you reclaim time, keep your sanity, handle the chaos with ease, and move to the next level of success that you deserve and desire. I hope you found value in listening today. Please always leave your comments, feedback, or questions. We check them all. I want you to continue winning in business and reach your next level of success. See you next time.